Hey, what's up, guys? It is Rapmark here. So, finally, with my Star Wars The Bad Batch, episode 5 of season 2. So, this one called Entombed. And let me just say this, I'm not sure whether to consider this as kind of like a filler episode. It's possible, but it also is possible it ties into stuff. But it was a lot of fun, to be honest. Yeah. So I mean, we have the entire batch back. I mean, with the exception of Crosshair, obviously. Um, and yeah, this is like essentially a treasure hunt type of episode. I mean, you have that's yeah, pretty much what it is. Uh, but yeah, the references in this episode were amazing. I mean, you have essentially like callbacks to Lord of the Rings. You have Fifth Element. You have definite Indiana Jones vibes. That's for sure. Uh, I mean, all sorts of things like Alien. Uh, just so many different like if not direct references, then at least like similarities that definitely brought the feelings of those things in. This was, for as sort of disconnected as it felt. I mean, to me, it felt like a filler episode, but it wasn't a bad filler episode. It was definitely a entertaining and like a very in depth and had a lot to it sort of episode. I mean, the visuals were great. Again, we go to a different type of planet. This one, like a completely dead planet that's been completely destroyed. Uh, Omega, probably in this one was. I won't say she's good. She was bad. It felt. It felt like a kid in a candy store, um, which I definitely get. Uh, but man, like in any normal thing, it's just like her taking the lead, her not wearing her helmet, her. It's it's just like, oh my gosh, this is like so ridiculous, and it got to the point where I'm obviously talking about it. Like it's just like, come on, like I get the enthusiasm, but this is who knows what is up with this planet? Why is this just so? And again, it's for kids. I get it, but it kind of was a little bit grating to me. But it didn't take too much away from the episode. Like, fortunately, everyone else sort of had a part to play, and Fee was like the big voice in this one. Um, so yeah, what would I ultimately give this one? I would say probably this episode deserves probably a 7. This was a very entertaining episode. Um, it did have a lot to it. I enjoyed it. It looked great. The performances were, for the most part, great. Um, and honestly, I just liked it again because it just had so many references to it. Um, so I mean, just breaking down the episode, I mean, we are starting in a sort of junkyard. They're looking. So Wrecker and Omega are there, and they are trying to, find useful salvage. He's looking for a regulator. She finds some things. Most of them are a bit of junk, but she finds this sort of compass type thing that goes to this planet. At least this planet. It's not on the charts. It's a lost planet that was destroyed like millennia ago. I mean, from what Fee says, this is at some point she says that this is like in the time of the ancients, before the Jedi, before the Republic, even probably. So, like possibly. Um, who knows? Uh, but yeah, so they go there, and it's just completely barren. Like there is like sort of life there. I mean, there you can see the remains of like a forest. I mean, it wouldn't be there though. Like after 20,000 years, because that's how old the Republic was when it fell, I believe. Um, but yeah, you're looking at like multiple tens of thousands of years, and there's still like remnants of trees. Like I don't know. I don't know. And there is a creature there that you also end up seeing it. I've no idea what it is. So I mean, obviously, it didn't annihilate all life and just make the planet a complete dead husk. But yeah, I mean, there was clearly some sort of civilization there, or it was some sort of storing place because there's a huge, giant thing there, which I'll get into in just a moment. Um, but yeah, they go, and it leads them to a mountain, and Omega is just like, we go around the mountain, and V is like, well, we go through it. So she pries it through, and like rocks fall through. There's a door. I mean, it it reminded me of like that whole Mines of Moria like thing from Lord of the Rings. So it was that there was that. That's pretty cool. They go in, and then there's it's like this multiple handles where they can pull and spin certain things. Um, but in order to see which ones that need to be aligned, you need the compass through a special like filter that it is on it. I don't know. It is kind of cool though, and the music. Like you hear the music, and I'm immediately just like, this is so Indiana Jones. This is so amazing. like I was all I'm all in. This is for as kind of grating as her enthusiasm and like lack of common sense in trudging ahead on this was. You know, I was all in at this point because this is super cool. You have puzzles, very Indiana Jones, like kind of Tomb Raider-ish in certain respects as well. Um, so they get through that. Uh, and they're walking along, and then they see this beast. Again, I don't know what it is. It's got a couple of horns, sharp teeth, a really long neck, long arms, long body. Uh, but yeah, very resistant to blaster fire. Um, and yeah, like in the course of fighting this thing off, it leads to a sort of a cave in that splits, three of them off. So Tech, Echo, and Wrecker are split off from Hunter, Fee, and Omega. So they go through like side caverns again, like very alien-esque type kind of things. It was super fun. Whereas Fee and Omega and Hunter, they go and they end up in this sort of tunnel. Um, and then she looks through the thing, and apparently the way they're supposed to go is up on the ceiling. Uh, Hunter almost falls to his death. Massively fast reflexes by Fee manages to get him out. But yeah, she puts the compass into a receptacle, turns it, and yeah, the pathway is clean and through. And there's no more real tension beyond that. Like, they meet up with the other three, so they obviously didn't run into anything. And they go and meet up at the door, and they're just like, what puzzle is this? And Fee's just like, sometimes a door is just a door, and you just have to. She found the latch, it opened the door, and there we go, the heart of the mountain, which was another thing where I'm just like, yeah, this is why I'm kind of reminded of the Mines of Moria thing. Well, I mean, not, but Lord of the Rings, Hobbit stuff, because again, heart of the mountain, the lonely mountain, and it is a lonely mountain they're kind of in. It very, very Middle Earth. But yeah, you look at it, and you also saw this on some of the handles in the first room that they were in. But yeah, definite Fifth Element vibes. It was, yeah. So apparently, this stone is in this receptacle. It gets pulled out, and what do you have and behold? It is a essential, just a ginormous mech. Literally, the whole of this mountain is just this big mech that apparently can destroy the planet. So apparently that's what happened to the planet. Now, I'm not sure whether like this was a mech that was just placed on the planet and destroyed the inhabitants that were there, or if the inhabitants built it and it destroyed themselves, or if this was like a storage planet. I mean, there are all sorts of things. Again, it feels Zepho, but who knows? There were multiple ancient civilizations, but this one gave me definite Zepho vibes. Uh, so, but whoever did it, like, clearly this thing destroyed this planet because I mean, Tech said it from the very first. This place has been burned and made uninhabitable, is essentially how he put it. But yeah, this thing goes and it immediately like lights its weapon, massively destroying everything. And Mel, so if he has a droid called Mel, where she puts all the memories and all the stories of all the treasure hunts she's been on, and yeah, it's at this point it was she told him to stay behind in the first room, but the whole thing is completely gone. So Mel is just running, trying to get back to the ship, and yeah, it gets blown up. But Mel's not dead because you find out later that Fee keeps the memory unit on the ship. So yeah, again, the stakes for what they could have been were pretty weak in terms of that. I mean, again, like, I love droids, but there's just no sense of loss. Like, everything, there seems to just be an excuse for droids to keep existing. And while I can tolerate this on certain ones, like, C3PO or R2D2, other ones, it starts to feel contrived if you don't actually have losses when it comes in terms of droids. So don't get me wrong, Mel's cute. Most droids are, I'll admit it, but I don't know. it just felt a little weird to essentially appear to kill off a droid, but not kill off a droid. And again, I get it, it's for kids, but come on. Like, don't treat your audience like they're stupid. Uh, which is how I felt about that. Regardless, anyway, they have to try to shut it down before it gets to the ship. And then you have the beast, and they're. But before that, they essentially tell Fee they have to give it up. She's reluctant to, but I mean that's all they get. This is unknown technology, and on such a scale, who knows if they'd ever find a control way to actually shut this thing off before it actually destroyed the ship. So yeah, she finally does. The beast comes out, knocks the thing out of her hand. She has to go down and get it. And she does manage to actually get the heart of the mountain back into the receptacle, which does shut it down, but it also ends up destroying it. And the key itself ends up melting or something like that. Like, I have no idea what this thing is made of, but yeah, it melts. The thing is destroyed. The mech is destroyed. Everyone manages to get out, even though who knows how high they are. It's but no, it was super fun. Like, they get out, and yeah, that's where she tells Omega that Mel's memory unit is the thing. So a new body, and Mel's as good as new. So what? No big losses. But it's sort of, Omega's all about this whole treasure hunting thing, and I'm just thinking, it's just like, guys, you do not have a lot of success with treasure hunting. Stick to your missions, and maybe you'll get somewhere. So that's kind of why this still feels like a filler episode. Maybe it ties into something later on, maybe not, who knows. But it was a fun episode. I actually had a lot of fun watching this. I loved seeing references, or at least reference, or at least things that evoked memories of certain franchises that this episode clearly conveyed. And yeah, I actually really enjoyed this. So yeah, 7 out of 10. There were some things that I wasn't too fond of, but it didn't take too much away from this episode. And ultimately, this season for this series, we're still going strong. It's kind of starting to get a little weak, but I mean, after the first 3 episodes, that's not surprising, considering how strong and how serious and even dark those 3 episodes were. So yeah, just super good job on this season so far. So anyway, I'll be back with 6. Well, it'll be posted at some point this week. But yeah, I hope you all enjoyed. I enjoyed this episode, and I hope you enjoyed the review. But yeah, I'm going to cut this to a close. So I will catch you guys next time. See ya.